was Al-Hussein camp and shot an arrow. That was the first sign of greed right there. Omar ibn Sa'd walked to Al-Hussein camp and shot an arrow. He told his soldiers, testify in front of the governor that I shot the first arrow. Bin Sa'd soldiers follow suit. Arrows fell like rain, poking everything of Al-Hussein. Ya Allah. Al-Hussein told his companions, may Allah mercy be on you. Get ready to embrace this victory. These arrows are a message of war from those people. Ya Allah. Al-Hussein soldiers attacked their enemies. A fierce battle ensued in which 50 of Al-Hussein's companions was martyred. After that, Yasir and Salim, servants of Ibn Ziyad and his son Ubaydullah, asked for a duel. Habib and Buray stepped forward to fight, but Al-Hussein stopped them. Abdullah bin Umair al-Kalbi, who had a nickname of Abu Wahab from Bani Alim, he stood up and expressed his willingness to fight. He white shoulders, was tall and very strong. He was also brave, experienced, and very respected in his community. Al-Hussein gave him permission and said, I believe he is strong enough to defeat his rivals. Yasir and Salim asked Abu Wahab, are you? Who are you? After he introduced himself, they convincingly responded, you are underdog. Let Zuhair, Habib, and Buray come out to fight us. Meanwhile, Yasir had walked closer to Abu Wahab. The latter told the former, oh, you think that I am not good enough for you? Abu Wahab attacked Yasir and fatally struck him with the sword. Salim circled around Abu Wahab and tried to attack him from behind. Al-Hussein companions screamed to warn Abu Wahab. The latter fiercely fending off Salim, swords with his left hand, and lost his fingers in the process. Abu Wahab then attacked Salim and killed him. Having killed both men, Abu Wahab proudly walked back towards Al-Hussein. Meanwhile, Wahab bin Abdullah bin Al-Nimr bin Qasit, Abu Wahab's wife, picked up a pole and ran towards her husband and told him, may my parents be sacrificed for you. Fight to defend Muhammad's family. Abu Wahab unsuccessfully tried to send her back to her tent. She firmly held onto his cloak and said, I am not leaving until I die with you. Al-Hussein intervened and told her, I ask Allah to reward you for defending Prophet's household. Return to your tent. Women are exempt from military. When the reminder of Al-Hussein companions saw that many of their comrades have been martyred, they too, 3 and 4 at a time, asked permission to fight. They bravely stormed onto the battlefield to defend Al-Hussein, his family, extremely protective of one another. They fought fiercely. Sayyid bin al-Harith bin Sari and Malik bin Abid bin Sari, paternal cousins and maternal brothers, wept before the departure. Imam Hussein asked them, why are you weeping? Why are you weeping when you are about to be eternally joyful? They answered, Abdullah, when asked, we ask Allah to take our lives in order to protect yours. We are not weeping on ourselves, but on you. We see the siege around you, but we cannot do much about it. Ya Allah. Al-Hussein commanded their efforts. They fought close to him until they too was martyred. Abdullah and Abdul Rahman, the sons of Urwa, from the tribe of Ghafar, told Al-Hussein, we would like to remain close to you. They fought close, but until they were martyred. Amr bin Khalid al-Saidawi, the servant of Sa'd, Jabir bin al-Harith al-Salmahi, and Majma bin Abdullah al-Adwi formed a group and attacked the Kufans. They penetrated deep into bin Sad's army until they became totally surrendered. Al-Hussein sent his brother to rescue the four badly wounded men. Al-Abbas single-handed pulled them out, but on the way back, bin Sad's army attacked them. Despite the severe wounds, they countered attacked and fought fiercely. The four men were murdered together in one spot. Ya Allah. Having lost most of his companions in the battle, Al-Hussein firmly held his holy beard and said, the wrath of Allah fell upon the Jews and they claimed he had a son. It fell on the Christians when they made him part of the Trinity. It fell on the Magians for worshiping the sun and the moon instead of him. And now it is falling upon a group of people uniting to murder the Prophet's grandson. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. By Allah, I shall never comply with any of their demands. Instead, I shall return to Allah, confident in my Lord. Ya Allah. He then loudly called, is there any surprise out there? Is there anyone who could help us and defend the woman of Allah's messenger? Woman in his camp screamed, wept loudly. Umar ibn Sa'd bin al-Harith and his brother Abu al-Hutuf, both from Medina, were until then soldiers of Umar ibn Sa'd's army. When they heard al-Hussein's call for support and the weeping of his children, they switched sides. They attacked al-Hussein's enemies and fought until they were towards murder. At this point, the number of al-Hussein's companions had significantly they began fighting one at a time, inflicting heavy casualties on their enemies. Amr bin al-Hajjaj screamed at his commanders, do you know what you are up against? You are fighting heroes of strong certitude in their faith, and men ready to be murdered. As few as they are, they will destroy you all. By Allah, you should stone them in order to kill them. Umar ibn Sa'd said, you are correct. Forbid all the soldiers from engaging in duels. You see, before the enemies got small, before the companions got smaller and smaller, they used to fight in groups. But now we have reached to the point that they can only fight one by one. Umar bin al-Hajjaj asked the right wing of al-Hussein's army. Al-Hussein's companions firmly held their positions. They loaded arrows in their bows and knelt down ready to fire. The horses of the enemies stopped advancing for a minute. Once they resumed, al-Hussein companions launched their arrows, killing and injuring many of the attackers. Amr bin al-Hajjaj reportedly told his soldiers, fight the apostates and the source of disunity. Al-Hussein responded loudly, Amr, you are doomed. How dare you instigate the people against me? Are you an apostate while you are a believer? Once our souls depart our bodies, you all shall know who truly deserve the hellfire. Allah. Amr bin al-Hajjaj redirected his attack from the side of the Euphrates River. A fierce battle ensued during which Muslim bin Abdullah al-Zababi and Abdullah bin Khashakara al-Bajali attacked Muslim bin Hawsaja. Thick dust filled the air over the battleground. The dust settled on Muslim. As he lay on the ground, he was badly wounded, but still blinking. Al-Hussein and Habib ibn Muzahir walk over to see him. The Prophet's grandson told Muslim, I ask Allah, I ask Allah to include you in His mercy. Some passed away while some await, and they all are like, Habib being close to Muslim and said, I am sad, I am saddened to lose you. You should be glad that you are on your way to paradise. Muslim replied with a faint voice. He replied and he said, I ask Allah to bless you. I ask Allah to bless you with a similar blessing. Habib said, if I weren't following you, I would have inquired about your will. Muslim pointed to about the ladies and said, my will is this, Ya Habib, die defending him, Habib. Habib said, by the Lord of the Kaaba, I shall do that. Muslim died while Habib and Al-Hussein hovered over him. His mate carefully and loudly mourned him. She yelled, oh, Muslim. She yelled, oh, Muslim. Al-Hussein over him. His mate carefully and loudly mourned. She yelled, oh Muslim, oh my master, oh Ibn al-Sajjah, the soldiers of Ibn al-Hajjaj rejoiced because Muslim was dead. Sibt bin Rabi scolded the cheering men around him and said, may your mothers weep on you. How could you be happy that Muslim has been killed? He handily killed all 6 idolaters in a skirmish before the oneness of a main battle. Al-Shimr and his soldiers attacked the left wing of Al-Hussein army, but the soldiers of the Prophet's grandson firmly held their positions and repelled the attackers. Abdullah bin Umayr al-Kalbi, Abu Wahab killed 19 horsemen and 12 infantrymen. Abu Wahab fought until Hani bin Thabit, triman during Hani bin Habib al-Hadrami, cut off his right hand, and Bakr bin Hay cut off his leg. He was then captured and executed. His wife Wahab sat at his side and leaned over his head. She then whipped the blood off his face and said, I not even mercy. You know, there was a woman who was shaheed in Karbala also. They didn't have no mercy. Al-Shimr ordered his servant Rustum to strike her head with a pole. Rustum smashed her head, killing her on the spot. Ya Allah. She was the first female murder against Al-Hussein companions. The enemies, they chopped all the body parts of Ya Allah. The enemies decapitated Abu Wahab and threw his head over Hussein's camp. His mother picked it up and wiped the blood off of it. She then grabbed the pole of a tent and attacked the enemies. Al-Hussein sent her back and said, may Allah's mercy include you. Return to your tent. You are exempt from combat. As she returned to her tent, she said, "Oh Allah, do not render me hopeless." Al Hussein said, "Allah shall never render you hopeless." Al Shimr attacked the camp and stabbed Al Hussein's tent. Al Shimr attacked the camp and stabbed Al Hussein's tent with his spear and asked for a torch to burn it down. Ya Allah. The woman ran out of the tent screaming, Al Hussein, Ya Hussein, Al Hussein, you Bint al Jawshan, how dare you try to burn my house? How dare you try to burn down my house? On my family, Allah shall definitely burn you in the hellfire. Sibit bin Rabi called Al-Shimr and said, have you become a specialist in terrorizing women? I have never heard a foul mouth or seen an evil stand like yours. Al-Shimr bashfully left. Zuhair bin Al-Qain with 10 of his commanders counter-attacked Al-Shimr and his soldiers and forced them away from the tents. Ya Allah. Realizing his soldiers' incompetence and failure to achieve anything in each of the attacks, Uzra, the commander of the horsemen in Umar ibn Sa'd's army, requested troop reinforcements. Bin Sa'd asked Sibit bin Rabi to lead the enforcement. I praise Allah, he said. Why would you select the leader of this community when you have others who can do a good job? Sibit condemned the idea of waging war against Al-Hussein. Some heard Sibit, we fought for 5 years and the same of Ali ibn Abi Talib and his son against the family of Abu Sufyan. Then we flocked against the other son, the best living being on earth, fighting on the side of Muawiyah's family and the son of Sumayyah. There is no more aberration than this. By Allah shall never bless the people of this land, nor shall he guide them to the true path. Al-Hussein bin Numir led 500 archers to force Uzra. Fierce fighting ensued. Al-Hussein companions inflicted heavy casualties on the attackers. Moreover, they disabled the horses of Uzra soldiers and forced them to fight on foot, unable to penetrate due to the closeness of the tents. Umar bin Sa'd ordered his men to encircle the camp and tighten the siege around it. Al-Hussein companions divided themselves. They divided themselves into groups of 3 and 4 men. The looting attackers from close range. Umar ibn Sa'd ordered his soldiers to set Al-Hussein camps on fire. As they did, the women screamed and the children were terrified. Al-Hussein said, let them sit on fire. Let them sit on fire. Once they do that, they cannot cross over and reach you. Indeed, Al-Hussein said, the raging fire in the camp preventing the enemies from physically hurting the women and children. Yazid bin Ziyad, also known as Abu al-Shaqqa Al-Kandi, was a soldier in Umar ibn Sa'd's army. Abu al-Shaqqa switched sides right after Al-Hussein conditions for a truce were turned down. He, a skilled archer, kneeled down and shot 100 arrows before Hussein watchful eyes. Each time Abu al-Shaqqa fired an arrow, Al-Hussein said, Ya Allah, help him hit his target and reward him with paradise. He ran out of sorrows and said, I am certain that I killed 5 of them. He then attacked the enemies, killing 9 more before he was slaughtered. The time is coming now The afternoon is coming now. The sun is blazing hot. The sun is burning. Abu Samama said to look at the sun and realize that it was noontime. He told Al Hussein, my soul is ready to depart by defending you, Abdullah. I see the enemies approaching you. By Allah, I intend to be murdered before you. However, I would like to return to Allah after I pray the praise. Since it is time, the time is here. It is time, my brothers and sisters. Ya Allah. Al-Hussein looked at the sky and said, you remember the prayers I asked Allah to count you amongst his devoted servants and worshippers. None prayers are due. Indeed, ask them to hold their tongue until we pray. Al-Hussein bin Numair said, your prayers will not be accepted. Ya Allah. Habib ibn Muzahid replied, you think it will not be accepted from the Prophet's family, but it will from you? Oh, Al-Hussein attacked Habib. The latter struck Al-Hussein's horse with the sword. The horse jumped high, throwing Al-Hussein onto the ground. But his comrades rescued him and carried him away. Meanwhile, Habib ibn Mudahir attacked the Kufans. Despite his old age, he fought fiercely, killing 62 men. Badil bin Shuraim. Now is that time. He is coming towards Habib. Habib with a sword, while another man from the tribe of Tamim stood there with a spear. Habib fell onto the ground, and while trying to stand up, Al-Hussein struck him with the sword and the head of Habib. Habib fell again face down on the ground. The man from Tamim defecated. Ya Allah, give me the tawfiq to do the ziyarat of Habib. Ya Allah. Al-Hussein was totally devastated for losing Habib. He is a great companion of Rasulullah. Expressing his grief for the Prophet's grandson, said, I ask Allah to account for me, for my protective companions. He also repeatedly uttered, we all belong to Allah, and to Him we shall return. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Ya Allah. Al-Hur and Zuhair bin Al-Kain stormed onto the battlefield right after Habib's martyrdom. They fought back to back, protecting and rescuing one another. They took turns watching each other. They did so for a while until Al-Hur was badly wounded and blood heavily dripped over his face. Al-Hur chanted, I indulge the neck of my horse until it becomes soaked with blood. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Take our hearts to Abdullah. Be there with him. This is the day to be with Abdullah. Ya Allah. Al-Hussein told Yazid bin Sufyan, you have always wished to kill Al-Hur. This is your opportunity. Bin Sufyan said, yes, indeed. Bin Sufyan asked for a duel, but Al-Hur quickly killed him. Ayub bin Mashra Al-Khiwani, he now came and shot Al-Hur. Ya Allah. He shot the horse with an arrow and killed it. Wielded his sword. Al-Hur jumped like a lion off his falling horse and fought bravely. And his feet killing over 40 men. The infantry of Umar ibn Sa'd army attacked Hur and killed him. Al-Hussein companions carried him and placed him next to the martyrs in front of those most protected. Each time a martyr was carried over, Al-Hussein would say, a kill is equivalent to that of the prophets. Ya Allah. Al-Hur was still breathing. Al-Hussein hovered over him, gently wiped the blood off his face and told him, you are free, Hur. You are free, as your mother named you. You are free in this life and in the next. One of Al-Hussein companions, Ali bin Al-Hussein, next. One of Al-Hussein companions, Ali bin Al-Hussein, or Al-Hussein commemorated Al-Hur in the following poem. The most honorable Hur is Al-Hur of Bani Riyah, who ominously prevented in battle. The most honorable Hur is the one who embraced the path of self-sacrifice to defend Abdullah. The noon prayer is about to start now. Al-Hussein stood up to perform his prayers. It is narrated that he led half of his remaining companions in congregational prayers. According to the format of praying and the fear, it's called Salat al-Khawf. Zuhair bin Al-Kaysar bin Abdullah al-Hanafi and the rest formed the wall to shield Al-Hussein during prayers. It is also narrated that Al-Hussein and all of his companions prayed individually according to the format of just prayers. Sa'id bin Abdullah al-Hanafi was badly wounded. He fell onto the ground and said, "Oh Allah, bestow on them a wrath similar to that of Ad and Thamud. Convey my greetings to your messenger and inform him of my multiple wounds. I truly sought you. I truly sought your reward in supporting your messenger's household." He then looked at Al-Hussein and asked, "The son of Allah's messenger, did I do well? Did I do well?" Abu Abdullah replied, "Yes, you are off to paradise ahead of me." In addition to his multiple stabs and wounds, Sa'id died with 13 protruding arrows in his body. After finishing his prayers, Al-Hussein told his companions, "You the blessed ones, paradise, Jannah, with its flowing rivers and ripe fruits, had opened its doors for you. Allah's messenger and the martyrs who were killed on the way of Allah are also expecting your arrival. And I'm actually waiting to see you. Defend Allah's messenger, his messenger, and the Prophet's family. They collectively responded, our soul shall be sacrificed, protecting yours, and our blood shall be spilled, Ya Abu Abdullah, defending yours. By Allah, they shall never inflict any harm upon you or your family, as long as we have a pulse on our bodies. Umar ibn Sa'd, now he ordered Amr ibn Sa'id to lead a group of archers towards Al-Hussein camps. The archers landed their arrows onto Al-Hussein companions and disabled all of their horses. The only horseman left in Al-Hussein camp was Al-Zahak bin Abdullah al-Mashriqi. This man narrated, when I saw the horses of my comrades being shot, I hid mine in a tent, fear fighting. Before departing the camp towards the battlefield, every companion bid farewell to Al-Hussein. Each one of his soldiers said, the son of Allah's messenger, peace be upon you. Imam Hussein replied, and peace be upon you. We shall join you soon. He then recited some Quran. Some passed away while some await, and they are all alike. Abu Samum fought until he was badly wounded. Qais bin Abdullah, a cousin of his, in bin Umar ibn Sa'd's army, killed him of avenging an old feud between the two. Ya Allah. Salman bin Madrib al-Bajali, Zuhair's cousin, fought until he was murdered. Zuhair put his hand on Al-Hussein's knees and asked permission to fight. Zuhair said, lead, you are guided, and you are the banner of guidance. Today I shall be with your grandfather. Al-Hassan and Ali, the dignified, today I shall be with the honorable man with wings, Ja'far Attila, and the living martyr, the lion of Allah, Hamza. Al-Hussein replied, and I am on my way to be with you too. Ya Allah. Salman bin Madrib al-Bajali, Zuhair's cousin, fought until he was murdered. Zuhair put his hand on Al-Hussein and he said explanation to fight. Zuhair chanted, I am Zuhair and I am the son of Al-Kain. I shall fight you with my sword defending above. It is said, the narration says, he attacked the enemies, killing 120 men. Kathir bin Abdullah al-Sabi, al-Muhajir bin Aus teamed up against Zuhair and killed him. Expressing his grief, Al-Hussein stood up and said, Zuhair, I ask Allah to bless you. Oh, Zuhair, I ask Allah to bless you. I ask him to condemn your murderers the way he condemned others into monkeys. Amr ibn Kharfa al-Ansari stood in front of Al-Hussein to shield him from the attacking enemies. Amr received the piercing arrows with his chest and face, successfully providing complete protection to Abu Abdullah. The badly wounded Amr looked at Al-Hussein and inquired, the son of Allah's messenger, did I do good? Did I do a good job? Imam Hussein, with his broken heart, replied, You showed Ya Allah, you are off to paradise ahead of me. Convoy my greetings to Rasul and inform him that I am on my way. Amr died in the spot. Ali, Amr's brother, a soldier in Umar ibn Sa'd's army, screamed, Hussein! Al-Hussein replied, I did not deceive your brother. Allah guided him and cursed you into. Ali said, may Allah kill me if I don't kill you. He attacked Al-Hussein, but Nafi bin Hilal al-Jamali intercepted him with a spear and threw him onto the ground. Ali's comrades rescued him and carried him away. He was treated and later recovered from his injury. Nafi bin Hilal al-Jamali had poisoned his arrows and carved his name on them. While firing his arrows, Nafi chanted, I launched them poison and mud. They are bound to fill the ground. The soul never benefits when it's terrified. He killed 12 men, and so he killed 12 men and wounded many. When his arrows ran out, he unsheathed his sword and fought. They surrounded him, stoned him, until they broke his shoulders. Al-Shimr and his comrades captured Nafi and dragged him into Umar ibn Sa'd. The latter asked him, why did you do this to yourself? Nafi replied, my Lord knows what I intended to do. Seeing the blood dripping all over Nafi's face and beard, a man asked him, can't you see what has happened to you? Nafi responded, by Allah, I killed 12 men and wounded many, and I am not at all remorseful. Had both of my shoulders not been broken, you would never have captured me. And as Shimmer unshielded his sword, Nafi said, oh Shimmer, by Allah, had you been a Muslim, you would have realized the truth. You have realized the enormity of returning to Allah with our blood on your hands. I thank Allah for ending our life and the hands of his most evil creatures. Al-Shimmer, with his evilness, shoved Nafi down and beheaded. Ya Allah. Imam, a Turkish servant of Al-Harith, fought and received multiple wounds. He fell down and called, Ya Abdullah, Al-Hussein, to rescue him. Al-Hussein came to him and hugged him. With it said, the son of Allah's messenger put his cheek on mine. This is the ultimate honor. He died right after the Imam put his cheek on him. Similarly, Al-Hussein walked over and hugged his servant. Aslam, Aslam. Still breathing. Aslam fell down and smiled in gratitude before he died. Yazid bin Miqal yelled, Burayd, how do you feel about what Allah has done to you? Burayd answered, Allah has blessed me with goodness and cursed you into Yazid responded, you are lying, you haven't lied before. Do you remember the day we walked to Bani Luthan's neighborhood? You told me there that Muawiyah was a transgressor and Ali bin Abi Talib was the leader to guidance. Burayd said, I do remember, and that is my belief still. Yazid said, I testify that you have gone astray. Burayd proposed that both men supplicate, asking Allah to curse and destroy the liar. They supplicated for a while and then fought. Burayd struck Yazid on the head, splitting his skull open and exposing his brain. Yazid fell with Burayd's sword still stuck in his head. As Burayd tried to retrieve his sword, Rabi bin Munkiz al-Abadi ambushed him and grabbed him by the neck. The two men wrestled until Burayd pinned Rabi to the ground and firmly held his chest. Rabi called on his comrades to help him as Ka'b bin Jabir bin Amr al-Azdi took off the attack. Burayd, his friend and comrade, Afif bin Zuhayr bin Abi al-Ankhas, Akhnas, scream at him, this is Burayd, who taught us the Quran in the great mosque of Kufa. Kab Afif and stabbed Burayd in the back. Ya Allah, Burayd fell and bit off part of his nose. Kab used his spear to push Burayd off of Rabi'a and then struck Burayd with the sword and killed him. Rabi al-Abdi stood up, dusted his clothes and told Ka'ab, I shall never forget the favor that you have done for me. Her disappointment with him, his disappointment with him. When Ka'b returned home, his wife Al-Nawad expressed her disappointment with him. She told him, you fought against Fatima's sons and killed Burayd, the best teacher of Quran. You have done an awful thing. By Allah, I shall never talk to you again. Responding to his wife's remarks, Ka'b said, I obeyed the governor, obeyed Allah, and saved Rabi's life. Rabi heard Ka'b's words and said, I wish I had never lived through the curse and shame of fighting against Al-Hussein. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Hamza bin Sa'd al-Shabhi called, people, I fear for you a doomsday similar to that of the parties, a wrath similar to that falling on the people of Nuh, Ad, Samud, and their successors. For Allah never oppresses creatures. I fear for you from the day of the great call, in which you try to run away, but nothing can protect you from Allah. There will be no guide for those who are deprived of Allah guidance. People, do not murder Al-Hussein. If you do that, Allah shall definitely chastise you. Transgressors are bound to reap great disappointment. Commending Hansalah efforts, Al-Hussein said, may Allah include you in his mercy. They have invoked a wrath upon themselves when they rejected your advice and rose up to murder you after they already murdered your pious comrades. Hansalah said, Son of Allah's messenger, you are indeed truthful. Shall we depart to the next life? Al-Hussein gave him permission to fight. Hansalah fought until he was martyred. Sothab was a faithful man. His house was a congregational place in which the followers of the infallible leaders remembered and praised the Prophet's household. Abis walked towards Sothab and asked him, "What do you intend to do?" Sothab answered, I shall fight alongside with you until I am killed. Abis commended Sothab and told him, "Go ahead before Al-Hussein, so he would account for you along with other mortals. This is the day in which we shall exhaust our efforts to attain the reward." Sothab greeted Al-Hussein and then fought until he was martyred. After Sothab martyrdom, Abi stood in front of Al-Hussein and said, "You are the dearest to my heart on the face of this earth. I have been able to protect you with anything more than my life. I would have done so. Peace be upon you. I testify that you are my guide, and so was your father, known to be one of the bravest men." Abis marched towards the enemies and yelled, "Is there a man to fight?" No one dared to confront him. Omar bin Saad screamed, "Stone him!" Abis immediately took off his face, threw his shield down, and attacked them. He chased away more than 200 men. They finally surrounded him and killed him, hoping to collect a hefty reward. Many of his enemies fought over his head. Bin Umar ibn Sa'd divided the reward amongst them and said, "None of you can claim exclusive credit of killing me." Imam Hussein is hurting now. One of the oldest companion, is time for him now. It is said that John, Abu Dhar's servant, stood in front of Al-Hussein and asked his permission to fight. The Prophet's grandson said, "John, you came to us to earn a living. You are free to leave." John immediately fell on Al-Hussein's feet, kissed them and said, "How could I eat your meals in peace and desert you in hardship? I am a humble servant from Africa, and I know nothing about my ancestors. Please allow the breeze of paradise to beautify me. Honor me with a sense of belonging to a heavenly lineage. By Allah, I shall never leave you. Instead, I shall fight until my blood gets mixed with yours." Al-Hussein gave him permission to fight. John killed 25 men before he was martyred. Al-Hussein stood next to his body and supplicated, "Oh Allah, honor him, beautify his scent, join him to Muhammad, and bless him with the company of Muhammad's household." People passing by the spot where John was martyred could smell a scent more beautiful than musk. Allah. Anas bin al-Harith bin Nabi al-Khali was an old man at the time. He had been honored with the Prophet's companionship. He saw and heard Prophet Muhammad and fought in battles of Badr and Hunain under his leadership. After he acquired Al-Hussein's permission to fight, Anas wrapped his turban on his waist to strengthen his back, Ya Allah, and held his eyebrows up under his headband. Al-Hussein looked at him and wept. He then told Anas, "Shaykh, O old man, I ask Allah to reward your efforts despite his old age, and ask him 18 men before he was murdered. Amr bin Janda al-Ansari was only 11 years old. Shortly after his father was martyred, he asked Al-Hussein to allow him to fight, refusing to send the boy to the battle. Al-Hussein justified. This is a boy whose father has been murdered during the first attack. His mother would probably hate to lose him. The boy replied, my mother urged me to fight. Al-Hussein allowed him. Soon after his departure, the boy's head was thrown to the camp. His mother wept. Now is the time of the household of the prophet. The prophet is left with no more companions. Now let's take our hearts, my brothers and sisters. Let's go to Karbala. At this point now, all of Al-Hussein companions were murdered. The only soldier left in this camp was the men of his family. The men of Prophet household were determined to put up a fierce resistance and bravely embrace death. They began bidding farewell to one another. Ali al-Akbar was the first man from Al-Hussein family. Al-Akbar was born on the 11th of Shaban. He was only 27 years of age. He, in addition to his eloquence, was an identical reflection of his prophet's physical beauty. It was extremely difficult for the woman of the prophet household to eyewitness Aliyah. Al-Akbar departure because his presence assured them security. Besides Al-Hussein, he was the brightest hope in life. The woman in Al-Hussein camp felt as if the voice of the revelation was receding, and the radiant sun of prophethood was about to eclipse. They held onto his clothes and begged him to stay. They told him, think of our plight. We cannot withstand being separated from you.